Hi. When I'm doing stuff in the lab, often I'll use many different types of clamps, but this one I use quite a lot because it's really easy to put in a circuit board or some connector or something that I'm using, and then start working on it, soldering or whatever. This is great, but it's not enough. Sometimes I want something else, and there is a type of clamp type system called helping hands. It's not it's not that great. It works, but the problem is it cannot handle anything too heavy. So I wanted to make something else. I decided to make use of something that you can probably get for free from like photographers, old ball heads like this. They're used for securing a camera onto a tripod. This one's a really low cost one. This is about £3, $4, but it's not great because it doesn't hold it stiffly enough when you tighten the screw. So probably want to avoid this type of one. You can get really expensive ones like, I mean, this is not that expensive, but this is overkill for the type of thing that I'm talking about. But yeah, maybe a photographer's got some of these, because if they're replacing cameras and going from a small camera to a larger one, typically they don't want the small ball heads anymore, so they may have some small or medium-sized ones available. There's also this one, which I got from Amazon. This one was about £12, $15, 15 US dollars, and it's actually really great. This is about the minimum quality I think that's useful for building some helping hands type of clamp system. It's great. I mean, it locks on and it holds it fairly well. Ideally, I'd want something even better than this, but for £12, I think this is like a nice sweet spot in terms of performance. And there's these photographers have all the great stuff. So there's these aluminium tubes which have got, you can get all sorts of attachments and fittings for it. So here's, I think this is a 12mm diameter M12 thread, and you can convert it to like a typical camera mounting thread, which is a quarter inch. So you can do that, and then if you have a ball head, then that can screw directly onto that, like that. There's also these clamp type things, which I think is intended to be used for securing a camera against a desk or something, but it makes a great gripper for a helping hands type tool. And again, it's got a quarter inch thread there, so that can actually fit on there like that. And so you've got the beginnings of a clamp system. There's also all sorts of other fittings like this, which are great if you want to start adjusting the shaft, moving it in and out and turning and securing it, so you get quite a lot of flexibility with that. So in the end, I used these types of pieces, and also got a hold of a steel base. This is actually an offcut of steel. Cost really next to nothing, I think about £3 or £4. So it was really cheap, and put some rubber feet on the bottom of it, painted it, and it's the final item. And I think it works really well. If you tighten this up, then it can actually support quite a lot of weight. I've used it for securing, large circuit boards, connectors, heavy wire if I'm soldering it. It could even support a magnifying glass if you're doing lots of work. You could put the circuit board underneath, and the movement is actually superb, I think, because with all the adjustments, you actually got quite a huge locus of movement, so this thing can take. And the other thing is you could also put like a spare thread on here as well, so if you wanted to in future, you could actually attach something else onto there as well. And I use the Amazon ball head, the £12 one here. The one here is one that I used to use for my old small camera, which I cannot use anymore because it's just too small for anything bigger. So it was spare, so I decided to use that. So yeah, that's the final product. And it can be used to prop up really massive boards as well, like this one. There's only one clamp holding this here, nothing else, and it's pretty stable, so I can comfortably use that for probing things. Another good use case is to hold an antenna in place. So, put that here. One thing I really wanted it for is for when you've got a connector like this and maybe you've got some very heavy cable that needs to be soldered on. It can get quite awkward holding everything in place while applying the solder. So with this, it's very much easier. I can, I'm free to move around the clamp to precisely where I want it. Once I'm there, I can tighten the ball head and then the base like this. And then I can apply the solder.